Yo, we back. Yes, I'm still rocking that stripe thing, you feel me? Mondays and Tuesdays, you can pick. It could be Monday or Tuesday for you. It's up to you to decide. Got one of the homies in this motherfucker, a big brother in the gang, you know? Then watched him transition and just keep his foot on the gas, ultimately, you know what I mean? And still be prevalent, still be in the face, behind the cameras, in front of the cameras, bars out of this world, you know? But really, personally, somebody who gave me some juice when I was just getting into it, you know what I mean? And we standing outside amongst all types of artists and rappers, and we actually had an event. I think was it your video?
Might have been. You talking about with Jack and them? Everybody was there.
Yeah, we was out front the crib, and like everybody doing their shit, talking shit, and he made a point to everybody cool though, but Hongry, one of the hardest out. You know what I mean? And I'm like, damn. I wasn't even expecting that. I'm like, oh shit.
Nah, going crazy.
But you know, so that's the type of person that we sit down with, somebody that's enriching the game, enriching the culture, enriching, you feel me, Rich City. Eric the Jerk, but I'm sorry, Kevin Allen. I appreciate it. My bad. I still be having that. How did that even come about? Was you like on some like, I'm getting away from the whole Eric thing and I'm gonna just roll with Kevin Allen now?
A little bit. Like I was telling somebody the other day how long it had been since I've been Eric the Jerk. It's like 11th grade or something like that.
Okay, so that's where you got that. That was Eric the. How did that name even pop up? Was it off the
rapping the shit? And I was trying to come up with it. Oh my bad, rapping. We was trying to come up. I was trying to come up with a rap name, and I didn't have one. And then the homie was like, Eric the Jerk. And I'm like, man, that's terrible. Because
ain't that some fools be calling that the E and J too? Like
but it was like Kick the Sneak. It was like it was like kind of like that.
For sure.
It was exactly like that. It was like, you're gonna be, if that's Kick the Sneak, you're gonna be Eric the Jerk. Ha ha ha. And
what high school you went to?
Hayward High.
So, what, like, y'all was barred up in high school?
Yeah, me, my homeboy London, you know London, used to sing.
Yeah.
Well, they still sing.
Oh, okay, that makes sense, because y'all been, I think, might have met y'all separately or whatever, but like, the time seeing y'all together, I was like, damn, this a cold ass duo right here.
Yeah, we've been making music since 11th grade. So he kind of came up with it, and then the whole crew we was around was just Eric the Jerk. By the end of the day, I was Eric, and I didn't have no say in the matter, no choice.
Yeah, for sure.
So once I started making music, and then you get kind of like older, you like, man, I never even picked my rap name. Like I don't might not want to be that. Like, wait a minute, let me just do what I want to do instead of, you know what I mean?
Ain't that a trip? No, like, I'm just thinking, because I started rapping with Neo and Gator.
Yeah.
And me and Gator been doing our thing still too. Like, I just had some shows. But ain't that a trip though? Like the people that you start making music with sometimes, like the distance that you don't see that happens, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that plays a lot into the Bay Area, like, culture too, you know, like, because maybe like in different boroughs or in places where it's more tight-knit, they kind of like figure it out with that first crew and build it up. But I mean, I just was thinking like that's a trip. Like, I mean, because you still, does London still make music?
Yeah, but up until like he was back and forth from here to Atlanta. Okay. So he's still been, you know what I mean, in the mix, and then we'll tap in and he'll come back and do some shit on my project, and then like, you know what I mean?
So y'all still doing it. That's what's up, cuz. That's what's up.
My brother for life right there, bro.
For sure. Well, y'all got some jams together, man. Damn. So high school, you was fucking with it. That's what's up. But now that you've been doing it for so long, you know, like, what is some of the biggest differences though you see from just yourself? You know what I mean? Like,
the way that the music moves so fast. It already moved fast because I really started kind of making a push maybe 2010, 2011. So in those 12, 13 years now, it feels like time just like changed, where it's a lot of the substance of it gets kind of pushed on the back burner, and then a lot of the more fast-paced, just like, I don't want to call it like pop music, but whatever it may be, seems to take precedence because the listeners are almost okay with not having to have any depth. That's the biggest change. It feel like to me. It's like we used to really listen to everything. It was a spectrum, like especially in Richmond. Like we would listen to Cash Money, but I would listen to everything from Texas, Southwest Riders, like anything that was introduced to me through the channels. And then now it's like if it don't come through TikTok and Instagram, then I ain't got no time for it. So that's the biggest difference for me. Like, damn, like this used to be a thing where you can pull from different places and get inspiration and make bigger albums. And
it was more of it was more substance. Yeah. It was more something for you to grab onto sometimes, you know what I mean? But whatever.
It's not just super dope, deep lyrical, but like I'm a Devin the Dude fan.
Straight up.
You feel me? So it's like just that was a different world. Like he was talking about just being a regular dude, talking to girls, his car broke down, whatever it was, I could get it, but now I don't hear none of that. Everybody got nice fancy cars, ain't nobody got a bucket, ain't nobody, it's just like, it don't seem real.
I get what
like,
you're saying.
You feel me?
Yeah, I get what you're saying, yeah. Not to say like those people who got a nice car ain't saying what they need to be said and everything. It's just also, it just seems like it's just more so that. Probably similar to like how people felt when rock and roll went mainstream, you know? Because there's like so many subgenres, that's why they had to create the subgenres, the punk rock and the metal and all that, because once like Kiss is now on like a Wheaties box, it's like somebody who like travels out their van with an amp and a guitar that links and play. They like, man, this is rock and roll too.
What's going on?
Yeah, for sure. I get what you're saying.
Absolutely.
But you are more of an introspective, like, you know what I mean? Like you like to think and put the bars together and stuff like that. Like, what part of like philosophy like plays into all of that for you? You know what I mean? Like, or you know, just like the possibility, philosophic possibilities and all that. You know,
damn,
even as like being a father and stuff. Like hearing you talk about it earlier, you're like, I want to make sure I'm on point, you know. But like having a family unit, you know what I mean? You got to be able, and you do it very well. You know what I mean? That's why I want to know. I wouldn't ask some deadbeat motherfucker like, oh, how do you do this? You know what I mean? Like, I really appreciate how, as an artist, you went through so many different stages, which artists do. You know, that's not a bad thing. And each one you stage yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, that's a long journey, bro. But I have my daughter just turned 21. You feel me? Okay. So I had her at 21. Okay. You know what I mean? So just do the math real quick. You know what I mean?
For sure. That's early to.
You feel me? So going through, I didn't get popular in that Bay for like on the main radio until I was 28, 29.
But you was doing music?
I was doing music the whole time.
You said you was doing music. Okay, yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? So just that trend. I was already a dad twice before people even cared about my music. So it played a role into just not being outside every day because somebody else wanted me to. Like I had other things to do, and I was still making music, but like I would have them with me, or I'll be, if you see me walking the lake, I'm with my daughters or something like that. So
it's probably kind of shifting to what you want to talk about and everything as well.
Yeah, like I got like crazy bars about it, and then I have more introspective bars about it. And some of the more introspective bars are just want to protect them from what's going on out here, and then crazy bars are like, nah, we from the Bay, and I might have been pimping if I didn't have daughters. I might have had a whole nother respect or lack of respect for women if I wasn't raising them.
Word.
So it just helps me shift like, oh no, I can't do that because I got people watching me. I can't do that because I got people watching me. So if I do that, it got to be contained and it got to be like done the best way possible. Like you can't just be out here all free for all with young black people, young black women watching you for guidance. Like it just changed my whole. You got mindset.
Your balance. You caught a quick balance early on.
Yeah, you know? Early on.
And that's what's up. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's what it makes me think. Like the Bay Area. Do you think that we even have that lane? I mean, you carve, you chisel. You know what I mean? And we got other spitters that's chiseling at it. You know what I mean? I really like what LaRussell is doing. I feel like he's approaching things like.
Absolutely.
Hyphy with it, but I'm about to give you some substance, something that you can sit with. You don't have to, you keep your TikTok stuff or whatever. Do you think though that the Bay is kind of lacking that, like, I don't know, that camaraderie or something? Because think about like East Coast where you got like a KRS-One, you know, like that's a bar, right? But like all the 5%ers out there, the, you know what I mean? They deep and they give each other the knowledge to be able to spit that shit back and forth. It ain't corny to one crowd of niggas might find it corny, the other crowd of niggas is we accept that. To where now, even the niggas that's fly, you can damn bust down some Islamic or something, you know what I mean? Versus out here, we hear it right away. Oh, Oakland. The Panthers. I mean, if you know about the Rich, you know the Panthers was stomping down first in the Rich about cuz they got killed in the back alleyway and they was like, we over here about this. So it's connected. It's big connected. So we got the intellectual. I mean, George Jackson, it's just, Angela, everybody real intellectual. When they just say the Panthers, I feel like it's just like, y'all throw the fist up.
It's just blankets, but they forget that.
They forget about the intellectual shit. So then that means like, even, I don't know, even our immediate constituents don't even, I don't think, always take it that deep. So for the intellectual thing, or to be more in tune with a philosophic possibility or something and want to bring that through the, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, because like when I was writing and making like transitions, especially going into Kevin Allen, I think people automatically thought it was on some philosophical because it was more about branding for me. This feel more like my name feel more like Calvin Klein than it do, because Irk the Jerk was like, I go to New York and they be like, oh yeah, you hyphy. Yeah. Oh, you hyphy. I go to LA, like, oh, you're a jerk dancer.
And that's crazy because the song,
like, you know what I mean?
Your most popular Irk the Jerk song was the Right Here, right? But you had other joints, but like, that's not even a hyphy song. I mean, it is, we made, I mean, the town will make anything.
They'll make anything hyphy. So that's kind of the point. Like, it was like, there's nothing I could do to get away from my culture. So I never wanted, even when I was like dissing hyphy, I was dissing the people that came after the Keeks, the Fabs, the Adrian-Mans, I was dissing the people that came after that playing like they was conscious and then they start, hyphy is lit, let me jump on the hyphy train. Sure. But I'm from the town, I'm from Richmond, I'm from these places, like I lived in these places my whole life. So I've seen, I know who came through here being funny and I know who really from the core. So that, I started being philosophical in that way, saying like, hey, why we all taking ecstasy together and ain't no girls in the room?
Straight up.
Hey, why y'all all dancing together with no shirts on? Maybe we should just put some girls in the room. I was just being funny, like, you feel me? Like, I grew up watching Tom Green and shit and motherfucking like, you feel me? So I'm just being funny, like antagonizing the situation. But then I started learning different things about like classes and then gentrification, just these different things that played a part into like, oh, this is why we act like this. This is why, it was red line in North Richmond. It was unincorporated. We weren't even supposed to be alive. So I started learning.
I didn't even know that.
Bruh.
I didn't even know that, because I be hearing about redlining and stuff, and I be hearing about it in Chicago or, in other places.
It's a book called The Color of Law, bruh. The first chapter is about North Richmond, because like where I'm from, where I was like,
North Richmond is the craziest spot now.
They show you how they redlined it off by the Chevron to basically kill the people that moved from Louisiana to get jobs to Richmond. Like they put them
jobs at the sugar docks.
It was all by design. So the more you learn about it, the more you see like, oh.
So what is redlining? You feel me? Just talking about the knowledge
part.
We hear
This part, black people live here, but there's no grocery stores, there's no outlets, there's no nothing.
How it still is.
We're putting you here to die. Like this, white people live over here, black people live over here, but it's on the map. It's not like we made it up.
No. Yeah. They put okay.
Yeah. It's not a thing where we feel like, oh man, it just feel like we ain't got nothing. Like no, it's by design. It's not an accident. Like you know.
And so once once people in that situation gain something, no matter how they gain it, they gonna take it very prideful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And they gonna stand on it. So, but at the same time, the systems are moving so fast that we're still having conversations about maybe gentrification, for example, but the system is 10 years ahead of that.
Straight up.
We like, oh man, people moving in the neighborhood. Yeah, but that play been happening over and over again. They move them out, move them in, move them out, move them in. It's less about gentrification, more about like, can you own your own property and just get that and not worry about what someone else is telling you can and can't be.
Yeah.
Like just switch the play. Just switch the play, but it's a mindset thing. So when my mindset started changing, then the bars changed, but I'm still from here. So it's not gonna ever be KRS-One, but it's not gonna ever be, I got a helmet on and I'm drooling because I'm so stupid and retarded.
And
like, you know what I'm saying?
Y'all think this is hella cool, so I'm gonna keep doing it.
Bruh,
Even though this ain't even really me, but I'm gonna keep acting hella dumb like this. And that acting hella dumb translates to a bunch of things that, you know, somebody might say you're a hater if you're like, well, why y'all doing it like this or why y'all doing it like that? But society, sometimes we can, like, you know, it kind of forces you to be like, all right, if I want to be a part of this, I kind of got to move like that. But
and that's what I'm talking about. The people who don't want to just stand on a square, because like the hoods that we from and the place that we've been, like I understand they're not gonna mess with you or judge you or talk to you crazy if you be 100% yourself. And I just understood it as a kid. Like, you feel me? If you're not moving in the streets for real, then they don't expect you to move in the streets. They gonna want you to not be in that. And if you kind of dabble in both, they gonna respect it. If you fully in with the shit, they gonna respect it.
Yeah.
But be you 100%.
Whatever it is.
Like, you can skateboard.
Yeah.
Everybody from the rich can skateboard. You see what I'm saying? That's a different thing. But they also don't play with you because you see what I'm saying?
For sure.
So two things can exist. So once I understood, you just be you, I can run it up. I can do what I want. Like, you feel me? I don't gotta like subscribe to what somebody else telling me to do.
Yeah.
Like, you feel me? So, but less philosophical and more just, I'm just me. Like, sometimes I'm talking about crazy stuff.
So do you fuck with existentialism?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Because I be like reading all types of random stuff. Existentialism is like, it's similar to nihilism, which is like there is no God or something like that, you know, which is kind of like I feel like only a certain type of people in a certain type of region can like think like that, you know, which is like every train of thought is adaptive wherever you go. But existentialism is like, it's like more, the reason is because of the reason, you know, kind of thing. Like it's kind of like it is what it is. So that doesn't mean, I'm gonna wild out because it is what it is. But that also doesn't mean like I'm gonna be super like this is how it is. It's kind of like you have to accept what you already are accepting, you know what I mean? Like, and learn how to deal with that energy. But like that's metaphysical, and that's something that's like defeats philosophy. You know?
On a level, there's a lot of that. I'm not the religious like dude by the Christian standards anymore, like growing up. But then I think what changed is just I was looking for something more, so I would look at the Quran, I would look at Christianity, I would look at Buddhism, I would look at these different things and just try to take the dope parts of each one, and they were just so similar. So quick story, I went to Africa with Jack and PK, like 2010. Yeah. And man, God bless, right? So, you know, Dom Kennedy and Freeway, and it was just like a random collection of rappers. Yeah. So they were about to go to the mosque and pray. I never been to the mosque. I never prayed. I never like in the mosque or nothing like that. So I was like kind of being funny, like, man, I don't know if Jesus is gonna let me in there.
Straight up,
And I was like, nah, we believe in Jesus. We just believe like he was just a regular dude though. And the way he said it, I was like, oh, that makes sense. It was just that one part of the religion that he was explaining to me, like, nah, we see him differently than Christians do. But we believe he existed. Yeah,
like we ain't saying he wasn't there, you feel me?
So I'm like, okay. So then I went in there and I prayed, and then there was no pictures on the wall. There was no images of what Jesus is supposed to look like. It was just wash your hands and your feet before you come in here, and you focus and you be quiet and you get in tune with what you believe God is. And then that helped me like go, oh, so this don't have to be what Granny and them said, but also without Granny and them believing in that, we don't make it through.
That's real.
So I can't never
just throw that. I can never.
Never. That kept me alive. Like them prayers kept me alive. Like them, you feel me?
That's when you learn about community. That's when you learn about who is really coming to church devoted. You know what I mean? And who is just here because it's profitable for them,
you feel
or they, you know what I mean. However it goes, you know what I mean. Like you learn who the shepherd and the wolf really is. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's the grannies who still will stand over you and pray for you, no matter what the name of the church is. You know what I mean?
She put food on the table with them prayers, so I could never be. You feel me? Like, oh, that ain't real. That don't exist. Like, yeah, it do. Like,
straight up. And that's a trip, man. You got. Because we've been running through this. I'm new to this thing. We've been running through this thing. But damn, you even just saying that just made me think like, dude, you really, really have been integral in the game. And like, I was just wondering now if you see yourself kind of more in a, do you starting to see yourself more in an executive position? I feel like when you start popping up with the camera, which is also another inspiration for me too. You know, we talked about it though the other day. Boxing ain't the sport without sparring. You know, so definitely because I started getting on my camera shit here. I mean, we're not in this exact spot, but like with the skateboarders and homies and shit. And then like not until like going to actual rap events, where I'm like, oh, duh, you should be. You know what I mean? But I love the way how you like was like, nah, I'm strict, because I done seen photos of you at big events with big, you know what I mean, big name people, and it's like shot by Kevin Allen, you know what I mean, and like super inspirational. Cause I'm like, yeah, all right, you feel me? Like
that was just my past. It was my past because the photography been a part of me since maybe a kid. You feel me? But what happens is the rap becomes bigger and it becomes quicker because it's like, oh, I can just listen to your song. But I got to get better at photography, and it takes a long time to kind of hone your craft. You know what I'm saying?
That's a harsh truth right there. Yeah. You get the camera and you start clicking, and then you like, I want this to look a little better.
Yeah,
oh, that's why they be having the big ass light. Oh, that's why he be having that long ass lens. Like, oh,
you feel me?
$5,000 to even get there.
I just seen the camera on my thing. It said 8 bands for the camera I want. I'm like, man, can I spend 10 on a camera right now? Like, it's just a lot goes into it. So
it does though. I think one thing, if you spend that much money on the camera though, you're gonna start getting more jobs and shit. Yeah. But it also is the beauty of not having that stuff, that you get the stuff that you want to really get and execute it, you know, more than somebody could with that big fancy ass camera, because the grit that you're using on the camera that you know what I mean?
Yeah, I had a T2i or something like that. The first T2 they on like T8 or whatever. I had a T2i for like 5 years.
I remember that. I remember
one
like
lens. You feel me? I done changed the lens on it. Just let me get good at shooting. I don't care what it is I'm shooting, but shooting. I put a light on this same lens, street photography with this lens, corporate jobs with this lens.
I went from seeing, I remember seeing you at the lake, and actually like, oh damn, like what you shooting with? Okay. And seeing the photos of like, okay, that was the day we was at the lake. But then you start seeing, I didn't see him with his camera, and I didn't see this event, but this photo is picture perfect. You know what I mean? And I just seen the progression for sure.
No, really, I love that art form, because then in positions like we can go shoot celebrities and people that from the Bay that we love, and then we can shoot people that just at the lake chilling, then we can just shoot people over here, then you can travel with it. It just becomes one of them storytelling tools.
Oh, you just dropped a book recently, right?
Yeah. Everything has a place.
Everything has a place, So that's what I'm saying. The executive side, I feel like, and like, especially like working with Monty and like with the whole crew, you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like got your presence, you know what I mean? And your energy is like very like omnipresent. It's like it's very needed for that whole
I appreciate that,
thing
bro.
to even push through. But I don't get that. I get that from the bird's eye view. You feel me? Like I get that from like on the outside looking in. Like, oh, I meant to say nerd's eye view. But
Straight up.
But like it's not like I feel like you boasting it or nothing like that. But like I
think that's what my job is, though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Not just because I reached a elder statesman in hip hop, but then once you hit 40, the people just automatically are gonna push you into an OG category anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what the Nerd's Eye View shit is. Like, I'm from North Richmond, but I wore glasses. Yeah. So they're gonna automatically say you a nerd no matter what thing you got on you, whatever. They're gonna be like, oh, you're a nerd because you wear glasses. So I'm just gonna play into it. So that's how I feel about like being like
that's the name of your first album?
Yeah.
Nerd's Eye View. Yeah. Was right here on that album?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Boom.
Yeah. You see what I mean? So it was just kind of like, I had some mixtapes before that was just kind of like passing around, but the first one I was in the store that I could like go buy with the code on it, you scan it and shit, that was Nerd's Eye View.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Bet. Yeah, so I get what you're saying. It's just like, if it's seeming like that, then you know.
Yeah, don't run from it. Like, you feel me?
That's why I feel like I don't know why existentialism keep wanting me to keep bringing that up.
I got to do some research on it, because that is what the feeling is. Like, I just try not to buck against the flow of things if I can control it. Like, you feel me? Like, some things just don't. If I was where I was supposed to be, I could have been dead. If I was rushing to go do something else, or you feel me?
For sure.
But you also just gotta be kind of like okay with that. A lot of people not okay with that.
Yeah, man.
Like the flow of things, bro. I don't control that. Like
straight up. So like, what is some advice you would give to the artist that's in high school right now, right? Or you know what I mean? Because a lot of skaters rap, a lot of skaters get into the music and stuff. So you know there could be some little homies watching, but also kind of like, damn, LD said something earlier about pinnacle, like how it can be the height or like a long thing, like you know. So like you did you went nerd's eye view on them. You feel me? Looking like a decoy, you feel me? But because you gassing on them, right? But then I seen you in a couple different groups, like what was the F and M, right? Fly Nigga Movement, you know what I mean? And now you got the crew,
Grand Nationals.
Yeah. Like, what would be your advice to someone who is seeing the TikTok and all that? It don't even got to be somebody in high school. It can be somebody that just whatever, you know. And this shit translates to all different types of passions, and because you also do photography and all that, you know, you incorporate a lot into it, you know. Like, what would be a little bit of advice you would give somebody, just that would keep their head clear, you know, something to stay reminded by.
Be malleable to the situations that you're in. Like, learn really how to adapt, and always build a team. Like, that's what the F&M, that's what Grand National, that's what Regulars Only, that's what anything that I'm a part of building, or any part I had in like the beginning stages of building something, it was always with another crew. And I did a lot by myself already. Word. But as soon as I started giving up control to the creative process and let other people kind of like, hey, try it this way, and you like drop that ego shit, it just goes way faster. It go like you, it's a road trip, bro. Like, I'm about to sleep, you could drive for an hour, then I wake up, I'm gonna go smoke one, and I'll switch out with you, then we just 3-man weave, bro. It just helps you go faster, bro. So all the me, I shit, it gotta die. It gotta die completely. Even if you're the star, you gotta have a team behind you. Somebody gotta take the pictures. Somebody gotta help you get to the lab. Somebody gotta help you do the photos and the website.
This right here too is what you're saying too, man. It's just like the culture of making music in the Bay. You know, I feel like that just gets kind of lost because there's so much money that comes through the Bay. Like, Kanye can come and sell this motherfucker, or like a whole bunch of people can come and sell it out.
Beyonce, just, you feel me?
You know what I mean? And it'd be the people that we know we make music. So like, just to even extract the bitterness or whatever that, it's just like, where do we lose that camaraderie amongst? Because it'd be our homies and it'd be our aunties and our cousins who be showing up to the shows at first. But I feel like it's somehow, I don't know, like it kind of like, we kind of miss it in the Bay because the it's like all this you breaking down right now about like, lose the ego and like all that. Like, that's important shit if you just want to be in the industry itself. And we get that game from, I think maybe because we get it from so much survival tactics. It's like, we can't just wear the shit on the shirt. And we can't, you know what I mean?
I got a shirt that say control your ego. Like, I'm literally trying to wear it on the shirt. For sure. Because we independent to a fault out here. That's what we say in our crew. It's like, we indie to a fault. Because we still basing this shit off what 40 and Short did 30 years ago out the trunk, and it was just them by themselves. But Short had people with him. He wasn't in the projects by himself.
Yeah, when we think by ourselves, we really think that he was sitting by the trunk, by himself, pressing it up by himself. We need to quit making it seem that it's that independent.
Yeah, you know, it's like we're taking it, like, that's so back to the religion. We take it literal. Like, the snakes wasn't really talking.
That's why I mess with the Jewish community. You feel me? I was talking to a Jewish guy, he was like, see, in our religion, we just don't really take everything so literal. You know? And I was like, all I needed to hear was that much to be like, that's it. Same thing.
It's
like
game.
It's game.
It's game. Just use the game.
It's game.
But we so looking for the literal. It's like, we did it by ourselves in the Bay, but Keek was in 3 times. Short was in Dangerous Crew. 40 was in Sick With It. He had a bunch of people helping him. So the people that we pick as the 2 or 3 legends, Hammer had 50 people around him at all times. Like, it wasn't just him. He was mobbing. So if he got into it with somebody in LA and they said, man, Hammer came down here and checked me, but he came down there with goons. It wasn't just him, like, you know what I mean? So whatever we doing, good, bad, you robbing somebody, you always got a crew or a team. So especially in music, you're doing something positive, you're gonna need positive reinforcements. You're gonna need your granny to make the food. You're gonna need your homie to do the barbecue. You're gonna need the homie to pull out the camera. Like, it's just the independent to a fault thing gotta die, because it's just not true. It's not even It's not even something to argue about.
Yeah, because I mean, a prime example when I think about it, like sometimes when I get the gripe in and being like, oh, it's back to like I'm like, man, HBK did it though. That's like a 6-7 man crew if you really break it down, and the Dave Steezies and
it get crazy. I was damn near HBK.
For sure,
like, you feel me?
sure.
Like,
yeah.
And shit, I just talked to Jay Ant the other day. He in Grand National now. It's like it's the same core. It's the same core. It's the same core principles. Like, let's just ride together.
I think
you know what I mean?
The show etiquette and the way that we approach shows, the way that we get shows, the way we communicate with the promoters and the booking agents, I think that's where we need to be shifting our focus to, because we can make bangers all day. And because I was still thinking about that too. You've hit that moment where it's like every rapper wants, you know what I mean? Like, my shit's on the radio, my shit's bumping, but like, dude, that's something as you learning it, I'm learning it too, watching like, okay, yeah, you can get that point and still not have the proper community that you need for it to like really uplift everything, because I mean, it's like, getting something on the radio ain't the end all be, especially not now.
Man, I was caught at a very interesting time. Like, what happens is, so after I did like the hyphy, like I'm so dumb, like kind of hyphy diss, my homeboy that was in the crew with me in London in high school was still my partner, and he was like, if you take something away, you got to replace it with something. Don't just take something away and not. And so when I replaced it with something, I ended up going crazy on the radio.
For sure.
But that doesn't come with money. That doesn't come with what the fans think it comes with. I'm still living in the hood.
More importantly, your peers.
Yeah.
I mean, because the fans is going to be around whether you know what I mean, but your peers is looking at it too, like, oh, this
everybody.
He lit.
But
like, what you can do to help us, blood.
You feel me? They became a fan of the song and not a fan of me. You know what I mean? So once they became a fan of the song and I start peeping like, oh, this has a shelf life, then it don't really matter about the politics. Like, I'm not a politician. Like, I don't know how to play radio politic games. I don't know how to play street team radio. I don't know who I'm supposed to smooth with. I don't know none of that.
It's really, you supposed to have I think it was JT. He was like, man, 150 grand is get you on the radio. Another 150 is what keep you going for the next 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And if your shit ain't popping by then, that's on you. You feel me? And that's what it takes. And he was just talking, JT got all the game. And I'm like, yeah, see, that's industry talk. We ain't got no
I didn't
industry
I didn't come through the industry. I just had relationships. I knew everybody at the station. I used to work regular jobs when I was young with some of the DJs because they got regular jobs. I see DJ such and such that's on the radio every night working at the, but working at the thing with me.
Yeah.
So I already had relationships like that just by being in Richmond, by happenstance, knowing Slowpoke, knowing John Costin, knowing these people that just was around when we was kids. So
what was John Costin? What was they?
M1 promo. You feel me? So I was around them just on some like, I made a new mixtape, and they were like, man, get this shit out of here. I made a new mixtape, get this shit out of here.
Shout out to Neo, man, because that's how I even know about a little bit of that industry.
The DEO?
Neo.
Oh, Neo.
Yeah. DEO in the city, though?
Yeah.
I met him through Neo, you feel
that's
me?
My guy.
I'm pretty sure I met you through Neo, for sure. Like,
for sure.
He really put me on with a lot of different he really put my bad. He put me on with just a lot of just the insights. He put out that album, his first album, and that shit was in China.
Yeah.
And he really like talk about like some existential like just energy just happen and pop off. Like he put that album out and it made it past the ministries at first in China. Like so people will start like promoting it, about to put big posters up and shit. And I think something happened where they caught wind of it. Cause like, dude, like even Jay-Z and fools don't be going to China to do big shows and shit like that. Nobody. He somehow, the company he was working with, wiggled in there, got one little area to be like, yeah, we fucking with like, bro. Cause he went out there and like was out there, you feel me? And I think like the ministries caught wind of that shit and was like, hold up. Cause I mean, Neo first album. Is like it ain't hella disrespect, and I think that's what like had them like kind of like hold up, let's but it's probably something in there where they like nah, this gonna be down there too powerful or shit, you know what I mean? But that album was playing out there like I had some shit in China because I was on the album, you know. So yeah, Neo.
Yeah, and I met him right after that, like right after that. He was coming to my crib. I stayed in Hayward, and we just started making music. And I'm like, woo, and we just started kind of connecting and building all the way up until
just bars and bars on top of bars.
Just bar. I got a joint with him now that somebody had a verse. I'm like, that's my bro. Like I'm definitely putting it. You feel me? Like Neo he just rare, bro. Come on, man. He rare.
Cause Gator I'm still fucking with Gator too. Fly Nigga Movement, man. Them parties, you, Willie Joe, and Neo, right?
And Tracks a Million.
And Tracks a Million.
R.I.P. Tracks, like for real.
Yeah, you know, those
those
times was a part of the industry for me as well. Cause that's it. Cause it was like tracks where I had like Jack on and stuff too, right? Or it was just a bunch of mix up. Like I remember like DJ 12s had us all out or something, you know.
Like so PK and my bad. PK and K9 were managing me, Tracks, Jack, Netta B, and I think the Figs. I think PK still had the Figs. So early, and then Cali Fam, like the early stuff from the Rich.
For sure.
So I just been around Figs, PK, and all of them since maybe, I don't know, 2003, 2004. So I just happenstance just been around them. So Tracks was with K9, and then I was in between like PK and K9 as trying to get management. So we all would just be at K9 house in the Rich. So then Neo would pop up, and then we just, it just was like, it was high school. It was all our family. We would just kick it all day, and then, you know.
The energy at them shows would be crazy because Willie Joe, he would be like, his performance was crazy, you know. He would keep it, rap tight before he hit the stage. As soon as he hit the stage, he was just,
different animal, bro. I learned a lot just from watching him, just watching how he moved on stage, for sure.
For sure, bro. Yeah, man, that's what's up. Like your whole, like just road has just been something for sure for me as a rapper from the Rich, but also very congruent with being in the town and knowing like you said, either like you gonna be fully with the shits or you gonna know people's with the shits. You gonna have your, you know what I mean, moments where hammers is is a must, you know what I mean, and shit like that, you know. So it's like it's always been cool to just see how you keep going, you know what I mean?
What you just said is what I based who I am as a person off. We're not just one thing. So if one season I'm fully with my square hype, then that's really me. And if one season you see me and I'm trapping and I'm doing you wild, that's really me. It's not two different people. We just, you go to your grandmother's house, you tighten it up. You're not gonna come in there acting crazy. You gonna sit on that. You ain't gonna sit on that furniture. You gonna yes ma'am. You with the homies. It's different, but you're the same person at the same time. So I just think it's okay to be.
Who do you think your music taste come from the most? Your moms or your pops?
Both, bro. Like I got a lot of dichotomy and a lot of like trying to blend two worlds together, all that shit. So it's probably both.
It's a mix, huh?
It's probably both.
What was mom's listening to?
Everything 80s and 90s. She was completely Bobby Browned out, Al B. Short out. It was like anything that was slapping from the 80s. And then Pops was a little older, but he still was on rap.
Okay.
So he might be on some.
So that's who introduced you to rap was Pops?
Yeah, for sure.
Huh?
Like on some like, and then there was like some like New Edition or something. I heard them rapping on them singing songs.
On Mamas.
And then was hearing like Gap Band, but they was kind of rapping on some of them. Some of the breaks, they were still rapping. Then it was like LL Cool J, then it was Run DMC, it was Beastie Boy. It was like all this early like stuff that he was getting because he's from Philly. For sure. So he was getting all this music from my cousin, that was his nephew. And it was like, I was probably 8, 9, 87, 88, 89, 90. So I just grew up in it to the point where I was just a hip hop kid. Like we was trying to figure it out like the best we could. But
yeah, man, that's how I got into my brothers was on like the Vallejos. They was like fucking with D-Shot and like Mac Dre and stuff. My dad was a house DJ.
Oh, crazy.
But he was fully into hip hop too. Like, he got photos of him with like Ice-T and shit like that. So I was like, and then on my own though, I think my first album I bought was like either like G Code or 400 Degrees.
It's crazy.
That Rich, you know what I mean? Like,
Man,
that 400 degrees turned to rich. Ow,
that changed my life.
For real, like. And I feel like, what's that gotta be? You know, like, just because, like you said, like the
Louisiana. I was going to school in Hayward, and I had burnt a copy of 400 Degrees because I was driving like kind of early, like 10th, like early 10th grade, going to 11th grade. So the homies was like, "What are you playing? What is this?" And I used to use my regular speaking voice to rap. I never had like inflections in my voice, so I would rap like this, and I would da. So it kind of sounded like Southern.
Yeah.
So they was like, "Do you know these people?" Like I'm like, "No, this is Cash Money."
For sure.
But the Rich had it on fire, but Hayward was a completely different world. So I'm bringing this music to Hayward, like, no, y'all gotta listen to, and they just it didn't click until later. But there's something about Louisiana and Richmond that's so...
It's twangle.
You know what I mean?
But then it's like, I ain't even been to Louisiana that much, but I mean, shit, I done been in Carolina, North Carolina, been in Alabama. It's all look like Richmond like that.
It's
you
the
feel me?
same.
Like different parts, you know, like the Johns or the back of the Crescents or the Noya, you feel me? Like, or Parchester Village. I be walking down some street, I'm like, well, I feel like I'm right in Parchester,
that's what happened.
Mount Talvin or some shit like that.
That's what happened, bro. I'll never forget it, though. I'm leaving for school in the morning, and I see the video, I see High video.
Yeah.
And I stopped, and I'm like, damn, what part of the Rich are they in? I'm like, oh, that's definitely the bag.
Yeah, well, hold
but
up.
like dead serious though. Like I'm waiting for the title to come up at the end of the video so I can write it down and go find it. So I'm waiting. I'm like, Cash Money, Juvenile. I'm like, damn, I never seen him in Richmond.
For sure.
But I was dead set that was Richmond. There was no other way. The way they was talking, the way the music sounded.
Yeah, but that's
and I'm going to the store and I'm like, oh, this is from Louisiana. I'm like, what the hell? Like it didn't make sense to me. And then I'm like, 3-4 years ago, I'm reading that book, The Color of Law. Said, oh, they migrated from Louisiana. So that's why Master P makes sense. That's why Master P came here. That's why
Master P. Oh yeah.
To Richmond specifically because of his family was already here from the Red Line movie. I'm like, oh,
that's a trip.
That makes sense. So it's not by.
Yeah, I feel like redlining is like one of the last frontiers of like colonialism at that stage. You know,
I'm telling you, read the first chapter, bro. Your mind gonna be blown because it's specifically about Richmond. I never read a book that was like
that's about it's about something that's so grand scheme, but the first
it starts about North Richmond specifically.
Damn.
And I opened the book like, wait, what?
And that's why I be like, man, the town is so enriched with this history that's you know what I mean. The Panthers was on the scene there first. You know what I mean. Yeah. We about to probably get up out of here. I just was wondering though, if you think because as much culture as we got out here, all the homies we done lost. You know what I mean? Like, it's just crazy. Do you see? Because we could talk about possibilities or whatever, but like possibilities is one thing, but like sometimes you got to see it to believe it too. You know? Do you see a way of some sort of reconciliation? I don't even want to keep it like just in the Ridge, because then it's happening in the town. It's happening in Sacramento. So it's like, just with how our younger generation comes into being a man, do you see like something like that, like happening for us, you know what I mean? Because it's one of those things that I think about all the time, like how can we get past that? Because it's so embaked in our, like, to where it became like wearing t-shirts to the homies, but it's like fly as fuck. You know what I mean? It's like, you got to celebrate the homies, but now you getting 2-3 different shirts a week. It's kind of like, back when that was happening, it was like, you know what I mean, for the homies. But it's like, no.
Now it's just like a fashion thing.
And now when we see it too, as we older and shit, it's like, that's how I think, like, you know what I mean? Like, what would be if something that could do that? You know what I mean? Like, I see conflict resolution every day amongst just regular, you know what I mean?
Like, it's such a deep question, but I think having the ability to take ownership, like, of things. So, like, we're talking about gentrifying, whatever it may be, but we still got to take ownership of our part. Cause like, systems don't work if both parties, you feel me? Yeah. So we have to acknowledge that we are complicit in some of the bullshit. We participate in it, and we don't necessarily have to. We all know people that just crash out. You're like, well, I thought homie was cool. Why he with them? Why he doing that? That's not his sauce. Like, why he acting like that?
For sure.
Them, they got to be removed. They got to go back to school, do whatever they was doing before they start trying to strap it up. You feel me?
Yeah.
That whole thing got to go. But if you are a part of what's tearing the city down, you got to give something back. Like I was saying, you got to give something back to the city. You can't just terrorize the city, but not do nothing with their bread other than buy some Louis Vuitton. Because then now we back in a thing.
Yeah,
so there's so many levels to it.
And that's why it is a hard question, because we've all been in a certain position so where it's like, you know, we trying to weigh shit out. But I'm just, you know what I mean, on the brainstorm hype. Because like I said, you got to actually see it to believe it.
Yeah.
And I feel like, like, checking ourselves within our community is one thing, but just us as a whole. You know what I mean? Like, you look at certain different types of communities, like, they respect it as a whole, you know, and then it's like, well we don't know what, like, black people, they all different, you know? It's like, but as a whole, we want to be respected together as one.
We don't subscribe to one thing anymore.
And then, like, a lot of us rap. So it's like, that's one of the things where it's like, sometimes when you feel like you're fighting for something in the industry, it seems it's a little, you're torn between the two, because you feel like there's some sort of something that has to do with your skin color, and like, oh, the big labels want you to do that. It's like, nah, but like, if we can make all the money ourselves, we still would be, you know what I mean, making this type of music or whatever the case may be. It's just about how the respect we're given, and that kind of like bring me back to why I was saying pulling up. I mean, being able to have the communication with the booking agents at like the independent or something like that. Because it's like, it's dope that somebody big come out that's a little bit relatable, or we know some people who might know this person and y'all give us a slot. But it's like, how about like having that a regular thing? Yeah. You know, and it might be a punk band that come through. Throw a rapper, throw a crew, throw a local, you know what I mean? The Stunnermans, whoever, they should be on the head bill, opening bill for a lot of these headliners and all of the independent, the complex, everywhere. You feel me? So
we got to stop treating our own shit like a commodity. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
We got to stop treating it like it's just hella fickle. I'll just find another rapper tomorrow, blah, 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 which is true. And you can find another hooper tomorrow. You can find another photographer tomorrow. You can find another
bait nigga like us tomorrow.
But it's so specific to our region. It's like you can't go find another Nipsey in LA. You can't find another Jay-Z in New York, because those are the one-offs. But the people that support that system are just as important.
For sure.
Because Jay-Z got his game from somebody else. Like, you know what I mean? So who was that person? Who was that crew? Who was that team? And that's what you building. That's what I'm trying to build. And then we just piece it together. Like, okay, what you got going? Well, shit, I got this going. What you got going? Like, you feel me? Then we just, okay, now it's 3-4 crews, and now it's something else.
Skateboarding is the wheels under my boards, cuz for real, because a lot of the homies who I just met, like chopping it up, and same way how they have that niche, or they have something where it's like people watching them, paying attention. They're like, well, you know what? They paying attention. Let's throw some Hongry in the mix of that. Oh, y'all want to come to this show? Well, we gonna have a homie, and then people just gravitate. You know what I mean? And like, that's another big pull for me to like keep. You know what I mean? Pulling it.
ASAP.
Yeah, like for me to even get to that moment of thinking like, oh, the booking agents is who niggas should be. You know, because niggas be like, man, fuck a manager, or fuck a record label. And I realized, oh, fuck a record label don't mean fuck a manager. You still need a manager. You still need a booking agent. So I'm all the way in Tennessee, and I'm on a skate event, and I met some dude who's like fully tapped in with the Independent, the Fillmore, all the Bill Graham, everywhere Bill Graham stamped out, he knew all the people who worked there. And just the next day, he sent me he put me in an email with all these people who were to book at the New Parish, and I'm like, that's crazy. I live here. Yeah. I should already know the fucking booking, and I knew probably some of them by proximity. But when you get introduced to someone who always is bringing big money in or whatever,
it's a different conversation.
It's a different conversation. And I feel like, that's cool, but these people who are in some of these positions are missing out on actually big money. Because if you can I feel like if the Bay Area was able to know that if you go to a show and if y'all fuck off the show, ain't nobody getting paid, but it's a consistent, not just like, oh, I'll put the show on and the homie put the show on, so if he gets shot or whatever, nigga, we just, no, if you know that Golden Voice or whoever is like, okay, we're going to give you all, you know what I mean? Here's a chance, you know what I mean? You only get, I feel like it'll start to change the dichotomy of how niggas interact with each other from Sacramento to LA.
You peeped on the radio, they don't announce where the party is. You peeped that, they don't get the address no more.
I ain't even peeped.
Whoever is delivering the party, like, yeah, hit my TikTok, hit my Instagram. If you know I'm going to be out in the city tonight, so tap in with me. They can no longer tell you we at club such and such. You feel me?
It's too lit.
It's so high level now that now you have to tap in with the person directly, go to see the flyer, and if you're not following the person, you just missed the party. You know what I mean? So there's so many like things in place to say we don't trust hip hop. We don't trust rap music.
We're gonna keep making the dough off y'all. 50 years, bring it in.
Right.
But, yeah.
But at the same time,
had not. I mean, Hyro Day. I'm glad that was. That was like a 50 year. They had Common out there. Yeah. Niggas got to get down. I got to get down. Y'all got to get down. You know. Like, but yeah, it ain't even been no 50 years of hip hop celebration here when it's like,
that's crazy.
Homeboy, Dregs won. He did something in the city. That felt like. He wasn't really saying.
Yeah, I'm mad I missed that too.
Oh, it was lit. I think he's gonna keep doing them though. Yeah, shout out to Dregs for sure. But yeah, I think we done chopped it up. Good game for sure.
Up,
we gotta get on these booking agents though. We gotta get it. You know what I mean? And we gotta be that. We gotta be that crutch for each other for sure.
Absolutely.
It's
nothing without it though.
Start knocking other niggas out. For
sure. Just pull up together. Just like what we got going on. Shit you doing? It's the same, bro. It's the same world.
Yeah, but thanks for coming through.
I appreciate you, Blake.
Appreciate it.
Really.